Hello, it's Andy Ferguson here. I'm in the historic Garter. Let me just swap the camera around, I'll show you something. The Garter is a hotel in Lithgow where I live, which has been recently rebuilt by an old client of mine. It was burnt to the ground a few years ago and it was going to sit here. The banks, the people who owned it, the insurance company, thought that they could just keep it as an asset and they wouldn't have to rebuild it, and it was an eyesore in the town. It's a centre, iconic piece of history within the historic town of Lithgow, and it was sitting here getting underused. Well, it wasn't getting used at all, it was sitting here as a shell. And an old client of mine decided he was going to do something about it. They had to do something about it, and they negotiated hard and played hardball, and eventually they owned it. And when they owned it, they owned the shell. They had to then find millions to rebuild it and turn it into somewhere that people would want to come again. And I'm in the function room because the cafe bistro that they built in addition to the restoring the hotel is really busy and noisy. But I wanted to share something with you today. I had a bit of an epiphany yesterday. I went out walking with a guy called Mike Berry. Mike's a remarkable guy. He used to be a financial services advisor, was very, very successful, and then decided that he was going to put on the biggest event in Scotland to inspire Scotland, to inspire a nation. And actually, it was an amazing event, and I spoke at it as one of the speakers. And we had I owned the conference, and we had a number of amazing speakers coming from all over the world. And some of the speakers even paid to come and speak at this event, which is quite incredible. The Americans would come over because they wanted to spread the word and inspire Scotland. And Bob Geldof came, he was the keynote at the end, and it was a fantastic event. But because Mike had never done anything like that before, and because Scotland's quite a hard place to convince sometimes, it cost him a lot of money. And Mike kind of lost his place for a wee while in the world. And he had some real tough adventures, and he ended up going out in a camper van and exploring Europe with his dog Max and having these incredible adventures. And I went out yesterday with him up to Glencoe and Glenfinnan, where the King, James Stewart, the Jacobite, came sailing up the Loch Shield to rally his troops and take back the country from the Pretenders years ago in the 17th century. It's such an amazing day yesterday going on that road trip with Mike, and when it really drove home to me was about my own lack of desire and commitment. I've been talking about desire and commitment for quite a while, and what I realised myself is that, you know, that you can tell, you can absolutely tell. It's like a switch when you're absolutely committed to something. And what I've realised is most people aren't committed to very much, right? Most people put what they think is vital at the centre of their life, which is to get by, to just get through the day, to get through the week, to get through to the holidays, the vacation, instead of actually going, do you know what? I have got today, tomorrow, this week, maybe next month, next year, maybe the next decade. I don't know. You really, really don't know how long you've got on this planet. But I tell you what you do know is that if you actually put what was really, really vital and important at the centre of your life, and I mean really vital and important, not what you think is a half-arsed thing or what you need to do, but absolutely what you feel. I've got a client, and I've been working with him for a few months, and he's slowly been going from having 2 out of 10 days to 5 out of 10 days to 6 out of 10 days. And what I've realised, I'll just get my cappuccino. What I've realised is that the only person that's responsible for him not having 10 out of 10 days is him. And I've had to tell him that. You know, he said, well, I'm having a 7 out of 10 day because of this, because of that, because... Nonsense, you're having a 7 out of 10 day because you're not committed enough to put what's really important in your life at the centre of your life. If you were committed, you would feel it. You would know the difference between, you know, having an okay day, getting by, and actually overcoming anything that gets in your way to making this an incredible, outstanding day. When you're completely committed, you might not have fun every day, but you're sure as hell going to feel great, because you know what, even on a tough day, even on a day that feels like you're beat, you know you're putting an effort in, you're putting 100% in. I've got to say to you, if you look around the world and you'll see people moaning all the time at the moment and they're blaming everybody else. You know why? Because they're not happy with the way the world is, and they're not happy with the way the world is because they are culpable in not making the things that are vitally important to making their world a great place. They're not doing that. They're looking at someone else and blaming someone else for all the problems, instead of saying, what is it I can do to make the bit of the world that I inhabit so much better? I've only once worked for any period of time in a big corporate, and I was a trainer and a coach and developed people and developed managers and leaders in that organisation. And I came up with a theory, and the theory was called the conspiracy of crapness. And the theory was this: if I don't rock the boat, if I don't hold me to account, you won't hold me to account or you to account either. Right? It's much easier to blame someone else. It's much easier to blame your employee. It's much easier to blame your boss. It's much easier to blame the other department. It's much easier. Taking personal responsibility is so difficult because there's a lot of things that we don't have control over. And we get fed up and frustrated, but there are plenty of things that we do have a control over, and yet we don't focus on those things. We focus on the things that get us annoyed. There was a football match between two famous Scottish football clubs last weekend, Celtic and Rangers. And I noticed that the people that were most vocal were the people that wanted to blame someone else for their team's performance, or they blamed the other supporters for doing something, right? Instead of saying, you know what, that isn't good enough. I wrote a book, it was called The 9 Rules of Seduction, the Rest and How to Avoid It. And the seduction, the rest is really, really important because, again, it's part of the conspiracy of crapness. The conspiracy of crapness is this, I've got this, I've got that, I can't really do this, I've got this impediment, this restriction. I got told last March, that I had a serious blood condition which made it difficult for me to exercise. Now, it could have been a symptom of something really quite significant, but I also had really bad knees. I was finding it very difficult to get up, and I'd been skiing and discovered that when I fell over, I couldn't get up very easily. Now, the very first thing I remember when I got taught skiing when I was a kid was that was falling over and getting up. And here was me, an old ski instructor, and I could not get off the ground, seriously. Now, I could have, at that point, given up. I could have said, well, my best years are behind me, I'm 54, all this. Instead of which, I committed to running and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And recently, I passed the 2,500 mile barrier since last March, about 18 months. That's what you can do when you're committed, yeah? The conspiracy of crapness is all about sort of going, well, if I don't push it, it'll be all right. If we blame somebody else, it'll be all right. Instead of saying, I'm going to raise my standards. I'm going to raise my standards. I was out today, I've been out running and walking to get fit. I could have waited till I got back home. Instead of which I'm thinking, I want to tell the story of the Star and Garter. Now I could go home and get shaved and washed. But no, that's a diversion. I have to put what's really, really important at certain life, as do you. What's vital to your life right now, and I guarantee it's not what you think it is. I guarantee you, if you were putting what was vital right at the centre of your life, you would be feeling a lot happier, you'd be doing a lot more rewarding work, and you'd be doing work that makes you feel that your meaning and purpose is there. Now, I've got a solution for this, and it's a solution that's very, very simple, that I am saying anybody that gets in contact with me today, I've got a very special offer for. Now, don't get me wrong, you're going to have to make some commitments, and one of those commitments is you're going to have to work your arse off. But let me tell you about another one of my clients, a guy called Matthew. Matthew dicked around, I'm going to use that word again. Matthew dicked around for 3 years saying he wanted to be a millionaire. He burned through hundreds of thousands of pounds that he'd saved up, and he went into debt to hundreds of thousands of pounds. And when he had just about nothing left, I said, right, you ready to take it seriously? And he took it seriously, and he had no available cash, and you know what, within 12 weeks the guy was a millionaire. Now, I'm not saying you can become a millionaire, because that might not be your thing, that might not be what's vital to you, but that's what was vital to him, and he turned it around in 12 weeks. We turned hospitals around using the same methodology. It's called identifying what's important, putting it at the centre of your life, raising your standard, raising your capacity, and raising the results that you get. And when you don't get the results, you discover why you're not getting the results, and you improve, and you improve, and you improve, and you improve, and you get better, and you reach what you want. So from now till midnight tonight, you can send me a direct message, a personal message, and I will explain to you how you can turn your life around in a few weeks. And listen, I'm no angel. I've been there, I've fallen flat on my face, I've lost my confidence, I've really got to the point sometimes where I thought I had no future. That's how bad it was for me, and yet I was able to turn that around. Now I'm going to have to go in a second, because this place is a busy place. But I really want anybody that's interested in upping their game, interested in significant improvements in their life, significant improvements in the environment and the circumstances around. I want you to get in touch with me today, not tomorrow, not next week, because that's the other thing. Oh, we'll do it tomorrow. I've got an expression which is get off your arse, come to Scotland, go for a walk, make your life 1,000 times better than it is right now. And if you do that, think of the number of people that you will inspire, encourage and support in your family, in your business, the people around you in your community. That's what it takes. I make a barrier for people to work with me now, which is you've got to come to Scotland. That shows you that you're committed. We spend the day, we will walk and we will talk and we will get to know each other and we'll get to understand each other. And from that basis, and that basis of when some people have gone off and changed the world. But if there's more, we'll work on that. Right? But you need to get off your arse, commit to living completely, raising your standard, getting rid of the conspiracy crapness in your life and doing something about it. So if you are, listen, let me just finish with this thing. A guy came up a few months back and I got a message from his wife a few days later saying, thank you for sending me the guy I married back to me.
You can do magic. You took the raindrops that filled my eyes and put them back up in the sky, and then made the gray skies turn blue. You can do magic. You took a heart that was broken in two, and you put it back together, know how to keep it beating. I bet